Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unapologetics. I am Brently, and this is the podcast where we read a Christian article and explain why it's stupid. I'm Brently, and I already said that, but we got Mike Wiseman here. Michael Wiseman from the Bible Says What podcast. How you doing, man?
Fantastic, man. Yourself?
I'm hanging in there, I'm doing
Good to
all
be
right.
back, man. Good to be back.
I am in Florida, so that kind of messes, that makes it difficult sometimes for it to be okay. I almost want to just start
I'm in
answering.
Vegas, so
Oh, Joe, okay, well, you're doing awesome. What are you talking? That's Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby.
Casinos are winning, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, they tend to.
Yeah.
I hear the house or something wins a lot. I don't know.
I hear it's a rigged game, kind of like religion. I don't know.
We were just talking. It's so funny. Yeah, it's because it is totally a rigged game. But it's like if you win too much, they get mad at you and they can beat you up and throw you out. That's crazy. But when they win, we don't get to beat them up.
No. But we do have that option to leave, though.
True. Yeah.
Hey. Good stuff.
Right. Cosmic Kyle's watching. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, man.
Oops, wrong one. So I found this article. So so I'm listening to your show quite a bit, and I noticed that there's like one kind of reoccurring theme that seems to come up a lot that nobody seems to be able to give a coherent response to, and it's the problem of evil.
Yeah.
I was looking, dude. I was like, I always put in Christian article, the problem of evil and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Just Google it. This is the only one that I could find that wouldn't take us 3 hours to go through.
Are you sure? Because I started it and I was like, I got this, and then it just kept going. And I've written an entire page, and I started writing side notes, dude. It's gone out of hand.
Right? And this is, I'm telling you, like, is a fourth. Or of what every other one was. I'm like, okay, this is short enough, I guess. But hey, if we can't make it through the whole thing, we'll maybe do a part 2 at some point. And we'll
deal. We'll make the short version. I'll condense. Yeah.
Right, there you go. Okay, cool.
I can do that.
Right. So you go. Cosmic Kyle says, I like the problem of divine creepiness. For a prime example. Right. For a prime example, if God is omniscient, he knows what you taste like. That's okay.
That got creepier. That got great job making it creepier.
nailed the creepiness. Yep.
You did it. Sure did. Thanks, man.
Do you have any like anything about the problem of evil you don't want to get out before we jump into this?
Oh man, yeah, no, I've got absolutely nothing to say about this topic.
I knew it.
No, man, this is such a great topic. I love this. I was just a few things right off the bat. Is Yahweh created it this way, which we'll get into a bunch of that, I'm sure, once we get into this article. Yahweh created it this way. He created Satan. I mean, Satan didn't even do half the shit that Yahweh does. Setting this whole disaster up to begin with. I mean, what kind of world would Satan have created? I don't know. Great questions. But yeah, no, the problem of evil is definitely one of the hardest ones for Christians to tackle. On my show, I specifically ask, would you slaughter the innocent to forgive the guilty? And that's kind of like the whole answer. Their answer to the problem of evil is God needs to kill something innocent. And it's so weird. It's so weird. It just gets weirder from there.
I never understand. I remember thinking that and being like, well, those are the rules. And I'd be like, why? And they'd be like, well, those are the rules. I'm like, but who made the rules? I'm like,
exactly.
Well, God.
Exactly.
Why?
Because he wanted it this way. I mean, he's an all-powerful God. He's an all-knowing God. Just imagine God sitting in the void of nothingness. What's he doing? What's he plotting? Well, he's plotting existence and how to get people to fucking worship him. That's what he's doing. And he made it happen. He made it happen.
And we'll torture you if you don't. Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
But he loves you.
But he does love you. That's
Thanks, George.
He claims he does. I don't know. I'm starting to doubt,
Right. Oh no, God. Yeah, I've read the book, man. I don't understand how that fits into the storyline here.
Right. Yeah, it's freaky. I don't know. So let me start it out. Here we go. So introduction. Introduction. I've never seen an article that's like doing this. I think they're trying to make it like it's a peer-reviewed thing. Like, absolutely, fuck out of here. What are you doing?
I'm fancy. Here's my introduction.
Exactly. So, where was God? The question is always the same. After the initial shock and horror subsides after the news crews go home, we're always left with the same question. Where was God? Did he know it was going to happen? Was he aware of the shooter's plans? Does he have foreknowledge, foresight, and the ability to peer into what for us is the unknown future? Christians can't help but say yes. God knows the end from the beginning, indeed. He declares the end from the beginning, and this exhaustive foreknowledge is one of the distinguishing marks. I thought it said disgusting.
Totally did as well. I was totally going to read it disgusting with you.
Because I agree.
Why I don't read out loud.
I know this. I mean, my eye issue. The what do you call it? I'm Lex Dixon, so that's why I forced myself to do this because I don't get better.
No, a few points though. I did want to point out there. Like the very first sentence he starts off with is, "Where was God?" Like, wow, that is such a loaded question. You think of all the tragedies, all the atrocities, all the disease, the evil. Where was God? Where was God? The question is always the same, and it breaks right into the shooting part. Man,
right?
That's like the easiest way to piss me off right there. School shootings.
Oh God, because that is disgusting. And I'm just being like, well, you don't know, mysterious ways or something. I don't know.
Oh, like, God.
Yeah, so it is infuriating, honestly.
Yeah, and the verse they use is Isaiah 46, 9-10, which essentially says that it's all for God's purpose. This is all for God's purpose. It's like, so that brings me, which I've just recently started, like last episode, using and asking Christians questions on my show. Specifically, if you take the flood, why did God do the flood? According to Christians, is because there was evil. So all the kids, all the puppies, all the kittens, they had to die in this horrific way because there was evil on the planet and he was trying to wipe it out, which he didn't do a very good job. He's a terrible God. Anyways, so I correlate that, which is horrible, and it really, honestly, it fucks with me a lot. But I correlate the whole flood story. God wiped out, used this to wipe out bad people. What if he uses school shootings to do the same?
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's kind of deep.
I mean, like, honestly, if he's doing it in the past, he uses his army to wipe out bad children, it's just all kinds of things that happen. So what's to say that God's not doing this now and in the form of fucking mass shootings and shit?
But I mean, what else? I mean, honestly, what else could it be? Like, this is where I get so confused about this whole topic, because there really isn't an answer ever.
There isn't. No, and this guy here through this article, and I love the beginning part of it because the verses he throws out are so detrimental to Christianity and the whole idea of God being a good God. And it just keeps going. He's really good at it. I wrote down a bunch of them. Like, hey, I like that one too. I forgot about that one.
Right? It's like, is he doing our job for us?
Yeah, exactly. This is great. Oh man, it spawned so many other ideas too. Like I said, I just kept writing. It was ridiculous.
Right? Wow, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So let's see. Here we go. Christians can't help but say yes. God knows the end from the beginning. Indeed, he declares the end from the beginning, Isaiah. And this exhaustive foreknowledge is one of the distinguishing marks of his deity. Okay. Was he able to prevent it? Oh, that's right. So I wasn't here. I misplaced where I was. Yeah. So was he? I'll start from here. Was he able to prevent it? Was his arm too short to make a gun misfire, to cause an evil young man to have a car wreck on the way to his crime, to give an off-duty police officer a funny feeling in his gut that would cause him to drive by an elementary school? If God can't prevent something like this, then what good is he? Yeah,
yeah. Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he's got a point. What good is he if he loves us and he wants to take care of us? I've got so many verses on harm. God's going to keep you from harm. Love me, and I won't let you get harmed. And it's like, really? But what about all these things that are happening? And then it's, well, God works in mysterious ways.
Right. Yeah. It was what? It was an accident or something. God, I don't get it, man. He was asleep for that minute. Like he was on the toilet, like he was with the other
guy. He was busy watching the hockey playoffs. That's what he was doing.
Let's goddamn. Yup. So yeah, what good is he? Why pray for God's help if he can't actually keep murderers from executing children? But of course, the Bible says more than that God could have prevented it. It says that it occurs according to the counsel of his will. Indeed, he works all things according to the counsel of his will. And when the Bible says all things, it means all things. I mean, I hate it when people do that. I'm like, yeah, I get that the words is what the words were. Yep, I know.
No, you have to be clear with Christians because they change words. Like if it say all things, they're like, no, he just meant like two people. What? No, it says everybody. Nope. That was just this set of people over here. Come on, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's
you have
true.
To be clear with these guys.
Jeez, yeah, you're right. So this all things includes. Okay, here we go.
The fall. This is a good spit here. I like this.
Right. Okay. Cool. The fall of sparrows. I don't know what that means.
He causes the fall of sparrows. Matthew 10:29. If you click on that, it says, 29 are not two sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. Meaning God causes everything, even the death of sparrows. So he controls it all. And then the rolling of dice, Proverbs 16:33, the lot is cast into the lap, but every decision is from the Lord. See, all of these verses, he scrolls all of 1 Peter, James 4:15, all of these are just laugh and spit in the face of free will. Right. If God is in control, if God is doing all of these things, if he's causing even the death of a sparrow, how is that free will?
No, it couldn't possibly be.
That's not how it works.
I can't remember. I think it was actually Shane, the skeptic, was saying that if he knows, all he's got to do is know. All he's got to do is know what you are going to do, and then no more free will. You can't make the choice because his knowledge of what you're going to do relinquishes your ability to make a choice in the first place. But yeah,
so many things. So it makes it worse that there's not one spot in the Bible that says everybody gets free will. There's not one spot. Yet Christians will shout it till they're blue in the face. And then I throw out verses that show that we don't get free will, like when he sends down lying spirits or he possesses people to do things. And then we don't all get free will. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
That was sort of my whole thing, God,
so stop saying it.
Right. You know what? The problem is, though, they feel like they have to because it's the only answer they got for, fucking hurricanes. Because I don't know how that is tied to...
It's the gays. It's all their fault.
I was gonna say you masturbate and fucking hurricane, man. That's what happens. Okay, it stirs up.
It's the butterfly effect, but with masturbation. No, that's
the hand slide effect. Right oh, it's awesome. Okay,
next topic.
So the slaughter of his people, that's Psalm, the decisions of kings. So there's all the things that he's in control of.
These are all the things that are clearly taking our free will away. The king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it wherever he will. Like, how is that free will? 1 Peter 4:19, therefore let loose who suffer according to God's will and trust their souls to a faithful creator while doing good. I don't know about that. Right. But anyways, these are all
okay. Jeez, this is all really hurting.
All great stuff. Exactly. He does a bunch of things that just hurts his case, and then at the end of it, we'll get to the end of it. But it's so pathetic and sad. Sorry, but go ahead. All things good, bad, ugly, and horrific are ordained, guided, and governed by the Creator and Sustainer of the universe. So that just takes away free will automatically. That statement, if it's guided, if he's ordaining it, if he governed it, if this is the way he chose for it to be, we have no free will.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
Wow, because I usually do the heaven thing, like, oh, do you got free will in heaven? But you don't even.
I love that.
Do that. Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's a good one, right? You don't even need to do that though. You can just do it because we don't get free will here.
Yeah, the Bible says lots of stories. There's a ton of stories in there where clearly people don't get free will. Pharaoh is one of them. Oh man,
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So this is basically all just everything that we can't that he's in control of, and that takes away our free will.
That's a great article. I really like this thing.
Right? Yeah, I love doing these. It's so fun. Like, it just really does work well. But does disaster befall a city unless the Lord has done it? Amos. Okay.
Amos 3:6 is a trumpet blown in a city and the people are not afraid. Does disaster come to a city unless the Lord has done it?
Wow.
I mean,
wow. They really are hurt. They are. They're just shooting themselves in the foot right from the get.
Nailing themselves to a cross. I couldn't resist.
That's awesome. So, what about a school? I don't say that lightly. I realize what I'm saying, or rather, I know what the scriptures are saying. I've wept with parents as they watched their child die slowly of an incurable disease. Jesus. I watched dementia rob me of my father, taunting me and my family with his slow death. I realized that confessing God's absolute sovereignty over all things, including the pain in my lower back and the cruel disease stalking my dad and the horrific actions of a wicked man in Connecticut, is hard to fathom. But I'm not helped at all by removing God from the equation. I did read that right?
He's not helped at all by removing God from the equation. If God is out of the equation, it doesn't help him any, which it's just because he doesn't like it. It's not comfortable.
Right. Because that's why you believe things,
God's in control. Safety blanket.
Right. Yeah. Just wow.
My invisible friend has this. You just do your own thing. My invisible friend knows what's best. It's like, stop. No.
I decide what's true by what makes me mentally uncomfortable. That's how I can tell what reality's like.
There it is. Yeah.
Jesus. By making him a spectator, watching the tragedy unfold on CNN, like the rest of us, if he can't keep evil from happening on the front end, then how can he possibly bring us comfort on the back end? Oh, come on. They shouldn't have. Don't phrase that like that. Bring us comfort on the back end.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they like to throw those in. They have to slide them in,
Exactly. Jeez. That's what she said. Am I right? Or he, either way. That's what they said. Let's just be inclusive.
There you go. I like that. That's what they said.
So it's questions like these that have driven me again and again to the scriptures, and what I've found there is a wealth of help in navigating the problems of evil. There's not just one, Yeah, no shit. It's all. My God,
that's all part of the plan.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. That just makes no sense. So there's a biblical theology problem. What does the Bible teach on God's goodness and the reality of evil, and how can we coherently put the pieces together? There's the philosophical problem. What the relationship between creation, sovereignty, causation, freedom, and moral responsibility. God is all wise, all powerful, and all good. Why then does evil exist? That's the $150,000 question right there. Yep.
Yeah, which he spends the next 20 paragraphs skipping around.
I swear that's why these all are so long, because they can't.
I wrote it down. It's like most Christian authors who tackle the tough questions, they take forever to actually get to the point, And when they finally get there, it's always, well, we'll get there because I already predicted what he's going to say. But go ahead. They all do that. I mean, I've got a stack. I'm reading this one right now. I'm going to debate her in a couple of weeks, actually. San Jose, I'm going to be debating Mary Jo Sharp at a church out there. So yeah, awesome. Same thing. It's the same thing. Why I still believe? But why do you still believe, Mary? Well, we have 2 paragraphs here, and then you have to go all the way to the back to get to that chapter where it starts to talk about it. And then when you talk about it, it's just it's.
Who taught her to write? Jordan Peterson?
Jesus. God, apparently.
Make sure you never get to the point. And be wordy. Be wordy.
Yeah. Just like God. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? He's taking forever to get to the point here. That's why we're still all living in pain and sin.
Exactly. Right. Jesus. And then there's the real problem. The deepest problem, the one that in many ways drives the others and maintains their potency. I mean, the emotional problem of evil. I mean, the deep, profound revulsion we feel towards pain, the sense of outrage that we feel when we witness the blatant atrocities and horrific suffering. I mean, the howl of the satanic, or the howl of the soul that echoes in the recesses of our being when we're confronted with cancer, genocide, hurricanes, rape, fatal car wrecks, school shootings, earthquakes, sex trafficking, and the institutionalized murder of the weakest member of the human race. What is that last one?
That was weird. The institutionalized murder of the weakest members of the human. What the shit is he talking about?
Well, I don't know. That's weird. I was like thinking like racism at first or something. Maybe is that it? Like kill it. Like black people getting killed by police. I don't know.
Institutionalized murder, the weakest, but that would mean
weakest. That doesn't make any sense. I'd say the most vulnerable.
I don't like the whole sentence.
It just doesn't make. I don't understand what he's saying.
I don't like this guy anymore.
Members of the human race. I'm so lost on that one. Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah. Whatever solution we pose to the theology and philosophical problem of evil should also at least attempt to address the psychological, emotional, and pastoral questions that well up in our hearts and minds. Okay. This essay is an attempt to do just that. Here at Christmas time.
Christmas time. I think it's supposed to put like. It's one word. I'm not really sure why he put it together. Christmas time.
Because it looks like Christmas time.
It's very weird.
I don't like that. And
I didn't know you did that. I'm going to start doing that from now on. Christmas time is one word. I didn't know this. Okay.
Just pop it all together, man.
Save some time.
No dash or nothing. Man. Fuck. In a season of grief and sorrow, as well as expectation and hope among the people who have eaten their fill of tears, I'd like to make a humble and serious attempt to wrestle with the problem of evil, to shed light on the perpetual and vexing challenge to the coherence of our faith and the integrity integrity and of our hearts. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was just like the introduction, I guess, like you said.
Yeah, that was all just the intro. And then he tries to explain it, and he gets really wordy. The author's dilemma here is very interesting. It just goes like forever. He has a whole conversation about this specific author and their characters in a book, and can you as an author, are you responsible for the death of those people that you kill in your story? Essentially.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, authors can get away with murder, literally, and not just murder. All sorts of other atrocities are committed with pen and ink or computer and word processor, whether it's J.K. Rowling and the death of Harry's parents, or Susan Collins on the death of her match for children and her death match for children, or Tolkien's unleashing orcs on unsuspecting villages in Rohan. Authors spend their days bringing disaster and calamity on their characters.
Man.
So we're just characters in God's story. So,
Yeah, it's a perfect analogy. Honestly, that is like,
this guy did a really good job.
Right? Yeah.
destroying his own religion.
What the fuck is that? Why are they doing? Jesus, that's crazy. Let's see. So, wow.
Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. Where was I at? Oh no, you did that.
I did that. Here we go. Are authors guilty of the evil committed by their characters?
Oh, okay. Wait.
Did I skip too far? Sorry. Oh man, I'm already skipping ahead of myself too.
No, sorry. I'm just looking for where. Because it's okay. So there's because we're gonna have to go through some of this because this is so fucking okay.
Yeah. No,
literally. Yeah. Okay. So he was basically using a book as an example, and trying to say, the authors can. This is what you were reading, right?
Yeah. And then it goes down to are authors guilty of evil committed by the characters? They certainly govern the worlds and characters they create down to the last detail, but it would be odd to accuse Roland of Voldemort's evil. We don't condemn Tolkien because he put Sauron in Middle Earth. The treachery of Saruman doesn't defile him. He does not share the corruption of Nazgul. Man, these are all great Lord of the Rings. I want to watch Lord of the Rings again.
Right,
and
I know. It's kind of
all these are under his sovereign direction and design.
Jeez, yeah, he's again just really hurting the case here.
More nails. Jesus is full of nails at this point.
It's because those are characters created to be evil on purpose to serve a narrative structure, right?
Yes.
There's no narrative structure for God. There's just people who actually feel the pain that's being inflicted upon them, unlike these characters that are just made up and aren't anything.
Right. Well, I would argue that these characters, like the stories, they have a beginning and end, and you need these things to happen in order for the end to happen. And that's kind of what he's going for here. But it's fucking horrible that these things have to happen in order for a loving God to end his story.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's again, he's writing this story.
It's his way he wants it.
He can pick anything. He doesn't have to. Jesus. Okay, so what if authors authors and their stories are pictures, images of something greater and grander? What if thinking about the existence of evil in Narnia? Did we read this?
Yeah, no, this is good. Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
What if thinking about
and Panem can give us new eyes to see our own world and the curse that hangs over it, the sin and sorrow. I know, right? Jeez. The sin and sorrow that grows over, that grows like so many thorns and thistles infesting the ground. What if God is an author and this world is his story and we are his characters? Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, a long time ago, man.
Yeah, you don't have to. Would we see
he was going for a certain amount of pages, that's what he was shooting for.
It's like a kid, he's got to get the 1,000 word. Yeah. Would we see the problem of evil in a different light? Would the problem of evil be solved, or at least be defanged? Can reflecting on authors and their stories help us to think more clearly about the author and his story? I'd like to suggest that it can. What?
Gross. First off, good's going to come out of children being shot and raped in church? No. What kind of monster would have that happen?
That's crazy.
Suggest that it can. This guy. Does it be more about his story? Like whose story? God's story?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's trying to say he's going to tell that it's God's got his own story too, or something and I don't know, man.
We should care about God's story too,
even though he's causing all of the
feelings.
We should have thought of that before he killed all the babies in Egypt. Right?
Well, maybe you should have thought about God's feelings first.
Yeah. Ever think of that? Huh?
Apparently we never did. This guy's just now telling us we should have thought about God's feelings.
Yeah. And I almost wonder, and I don't know. I just feel like it could be the case that he's going to head into the territory that's but hey, he sent Jesus to be tortured, so he had some pain too. So that evens it all out. That's now we're Now, samesies,
you're getting close. You're getting, it's part of it.
Jesus, that's insane. Okay. So the biblical problem. God is an author. We are his characters. Wow, that's like the fourth time you've okay.
He's gonna keep going with it. He's got a bunch of mumbo jumbo to fill up here.
Jesus. Okay. Let's get through some of this mumbo and then we'll make it to the jumbo after that.
Yeah.
So
jumbo disappointment.
So here's the basic claim. God is an author, the world is his story, and we are his characters. Scripture points to the direction when it tells us that God preached the world into existence. He spoke and it came to be. He commanded and it stood firm. He is the God who calls into existence the things that do not exist. Mm-hmm. Not only did
magical.
God... Yeah, magic. Yep. Not only did God create the world from nothing, he also sustains it from nothing at every point of its existence. All things were created by Christ, and all things are hold together in Christ. This too happens at the point of speech.
Yeah. So apparently God holds our atoms together by speaking it into existence.
Guys, hold it together. Come on, keep it together, man. Stu, you're loosening your hands.
You can do this. 20 more reps so you can switch sides.
Yeah, he's like... Just a couple more billions. Just a couple more billions of years. Then you guys can just let go.
This, George. You can do this. All that good stuff.
Once they get hit heat death, then you're good. Nobody will be there to care anyway. Jesus. That's crazy. How fucking weird.
I've had Christians tell me that. If it wasn't for God, all of our atoms would fall apart. And it's so weird. Wow. Magical being, check. Got it. All right, he's magic. He can do some crazy shit. All right, got it.
That's insane. My goodness, why would you need to talk? Okay, this. Let's see. At this point, he upholds the universe by the word of his power. There's got to be a translation error somewhere going in here. That doesn't make no way.
The word of his power. The word of his. That's just, I don't know.
That's just not. You can't just say that's like saying the finger of his mouth. It's like it just doesn't work, man. You just can't say that sentence. That's how that goes. Jesus.
Well, damn you did. You said it.
Right? Yeah. He's like, I can say whatever I want. I'm God. God damn it.
My article.
Oh man, if he stopped speaking, he would stop being. As N.D. Wilson reminds us, this is his spoken world. Notes from Tilla Whirl at 8. Psalms 139 stresses that the speaking God is present everywhere, that there is no part of creation devoid of his presence. Oh, so that's the omnipresent one. Where shall I go from your spirit?
No matter how high you go, God is present everywhere.
Right, Wow. I think this is a worship song I've heard before.
I think there's a few of them. I think so.
It's like he's high, he's low, he's under the table, he's in my pants. He's everywhere. So no matter how high you go, no matter how low you go, no matter how far you go, God is present and active. Jonathan Edwards captures the extent of God's presence and activity in the world in a wonderful section from a sermon on this passage. Oh goodness. And then he gives us this. Okay. God is present everywhere, whereas other being is only so by his operation and influence. God is the continual exercise of his infinite power and wisdom throughout the whole creation. Every moment takes a continual act of infinite power to uphold things in being. When we look upon anything that we can behold, we see the present operation of infinite power.
Hold it together!
Right. It's so weird, too. He's like doing the... It's like the infinite power to do like a basic little tiny thing. I mean, and I get that point, is that this is all miraculous and everything, but it's just weird to say,
It's so weird. God's a gaps. I don't know why atoms stick together, but God must be saying something to keep it like,
of all
weird.
The things.
Yeah. Why can't it just be some invisible super glue? I don't know. Like,
right.
why does it have to...
He's got to keep talking.
Christians are so weird. Okay, here's the thing. You can't stop talking.
Right.
Your voice is so powerful. All of existence will cease to exist if you stop talking.
Right. All the molecules are like little therapists. They're just like, oh, God. He's like, and then my dad was all like, you need to get out and go be tortured for, and die. And I was like,
it's a good thing. It'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
It's all about love, man. Just go die. Go.
Exactly. So every moment. Oh yeah, we read that. Okay. Damn, he is so wordy. This is insane.
He really is.
All right,
God's the start of it.
Yeah, right. God's preservation of the world is nothing but a continued act of creation. We need that God created all. We read that God created all things by the word of his power, and they said it again. And they read that he upholds all things by the word of his power again. What the fuck? Jesus. Is the continual operation of God to uphold things in being, so it is the divine operation that keeps them in action, whereby a body moves, or a spirit operation that keeps them in action. Whenever a body moves, or a spirit thinks or wills, it is infinite power and wisdom that assists it. God has established the laws of nature. He maintains them by his constant influence with respect
to free will. His constant influence. Free will is the absence of an influence from an outside force, especially a deity. Holy shit, man. He's just throwing shit on the fire at this point.
Wow, dude. What the... Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is just like, my goodness. Ridiculous. Let me see if I can get this a little bigger. Okay. Let's see it better. All right. Let's see. Where did I go?
Maintains them by his constant influence with respect to ourselves. It's because God is in us with our it is because God is in us that our blood runs. Weird. Our pulse beats, our lungs play. My lungs don't really play much.
Right? No.
Am I doing this wrong?
It's like, fucking what? That's insane. That doesn't make any sense.
I love this guy. What other articles did he write? This guy needs to come on my show, actually. That needs to happen.
Oh man, we could probably get him an email or something.
Absolutely. That's going to happen later. Writing that down.
Right.
This should be fun. Okay, so I read your article.
Yeah. We need you to come on.
I need to figure out why my lungs are playing and what they're playing specifically. Is it a song? Is it a game?
Guitar. It's guitar.
Electric, acoustic. What are we doing here?
So those weird slidey ones that country people do where they set it on their lap?
No, that's what's wrong with my lungs. Okay, all right. Playing country music.
That'll wreck just about anything.
Oh, it's done.
So God's present everywhere. It seems to be the breakdown of all of that, right? Exercise that, like, let's see, where hands, feet, members of existence here. Oh, there we go. Okay.
The analogy, you can go down to the analogy part here.
Okay.
We can't absolve ourselves. Oh, wait, maybe this part here. The analogy in all form. How about this? We can't absolve ourselves or others of blame because God freely and unchangeably ordains whatsoever comes to pass. God made me do it does not exonerate us any more than the devil made me do it. The scriptures are clear. We can choose life or death. God will judge us of our actions and words. So he just spent the last, 8 fucking paragraphs telling us how God's in control. God did this. God's the one that planned all this. And then he goes in and says, well, you can't say God made me do it.
Right. No, it's your fault though. Like,
it's my fault now.
God, what is this, like the Republican like concept of like? I swear to God, that's like, just put it back on them. Just put it back on them.
Yeah, so quick. Oh, God did it. Oh, wait, that's your fault though.
But not, yeah.
Wait, what?
Once it's not good, then it's your fault.
Who made me this way? God. Okay, whose fault is it? Yours. Wait, what?
How? Like, he's in control of this. You know what it always reminds me of? It's like when there's those dog fighting. People get arrested for dog fighting. It's like arresting the dogs. You know what I mean? Going, no, you guys are cool. No, don't worry about it. But you fucking dogs, man. You guys are in fighting. Look at that bite taken out of him. That's you. You did that.
How dare you?
Like, you're going to jail, buddy. Like, that's what it always reminds me of. It's like they set up the environment and told them they had to do it, and basically made them do what they naturally do.
Whose fault is it at that point? It's so easy to, like, there's one guy I talked to, I asked him several times, who sent the rainwater to drown the people during the flood? And he kept saying, the people. Like, Adam, this is maddening, man. Who sent the rainwater down? The people. Dude, the people did not drown themselves. That's not how that works, man. Please drown me. Where's the button? Is there a button somewhere? What do I have to do?
Right. Like, no. Who would think that's a good argument? Like, I would say, why? Why did they do that? Because they're evil. They're evil. They're like, what do you? Oh my good God. I swear sometimes they don't realize that they're just in script brain and then and they can't.
Every Christian script comes with its own domino effect. I mean, it's just like every little thing they say, well, that I can just go that way. Well, that doesn't make sense if you go that way. It's just like Christianity does not compute. It doesn't add up.
It just
anyway, you look at it.
Right? Yeah. No, that's it is exactly the way it is, man. It's insane.
This is the way.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I lost my place.
Wait. Yeah. Oh no, we already did the analogy, right?
The analogy of an author. Is that where you're at? That's a good one. No, we did that already, did we? Is he just repeating himself?
He does kind of, yeah. So the second one, he says the analogy enables us to affirm. Is that right? With the Bible, God's total exhaustive sovereignty over all things. Okay, yeah, we did. We did read that. Basically, God controls everything.
Go down to that yeah, right. The analogy of an author and his story helps us to understand how God can be completely, totally, and exhaustively sovereign. That's such a stupid thing. How human beings can be responsible and how their choices and actions can be meaningful and significant. It allows us to see layers in our understanding of causality. Oh my God. Yeah, this is a great one. Go ahead, take it from here.
Okay.
This is great.
Okay.
I love this.
Causality. Okay, jeez Louise. Let's see. Here we go. Damn, I keep just losing my spot.
Sorry, I keep skipping.
It's not. Oh, I see causality. Okay. Why was it always winter and never Christmas in Narnia? Because the White Witch enslaved the land. Why was it always winter and never Christmas in Narnia? Because that's the way Lewis wrote the story. Why does Aslan have to die? Because Edmund was a traitor. Why does Aslan have to die? Because that's how Lewis wrote it. Who killed the White Witch? Aslan did. Who killed the White Witch? Lewis did.
Lewis did.
Okay, I see what he's saying. So he's saying like you can always answer everything basically with because the author wanted it. But
right, who are you blaming? I'm going to blame the author, the guy who wrote the story, not the person who did the action, right? I mean, that's where I'm at.
Right, yes. And but actually it's more because of this other stuff, it's because of the causality that needs to take place in order for the story to continue.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Every aspect of the story, from plot to characters to background details, is under the sovereign control of the author, and the actions of the characters are necessary for the resolution of the plot.
Right.
Saying it's necessary for all those children to be raped in church for God's plot to take place. How horrible. How horrible.
How do they not see that that's awful? Like, that's such
Why would anybody want to worship that kind of monster? Like, it's fucking disgusting and terrible. That pisses me off. Anyway.
Yeah, that's disgusting too. Like, I can't believe that this is the argument they're going with.
Wow. Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
So this is Jesus. So this is the sort of layered casualty that we see in the story of Job, who's good. Who's good? This is another terrible example. Like, if what you're, if you're arguing for us, yeah, bring up Job. Do it all day.
Yeah, great idea. Great idea.
Fuck. Whose goods are stolen by Chaldean raiders, whose children are killed in a natural disaster, and whose body is afflicted with disease by the enemy of our soul, of our souls himself. Okay.
I can't believe he said natural disasters there.
Right.
His children were killed by a natural disaster. Do you remember that story, how they were killed?
I thought it was it wasn't thieves?
They were in a building, and Satan, who had the powers of heaven, was given by, God, the powers of heaven, caused the wind, and it killed them.
Oh, like he winded them to death?
It's the natural disaster, my ass. You did that.
Like, straight up.
Caused that to happen. It says so in there. And the worst part of Job, the thing I love to bring up to Christians that they have no clue is in there. It's Job 2:3. When God is like, oh shit, I just realized what happened. Satan tricked me into enticing a man without sin, an innocent person. He tricked him. He admits it in Job 2:3. Like, it's maddening. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, well, Job is such a beautiful story. Is it though? Have you read the second chapter?
It's insane. Yeah, I mean, and God, the all-knowing God, can be tricked.
Apparently,
that's a thing that can happen. Okay,
it's canon, man. It's in there.
Wow, God. Yeah, and all these calamities and all these evils perpetrated by Satan and carried out by wicked men and forces of nature, Job recognizes the sovereign hand of the Lord, the one who is to be blessed when he gives and when he takes away. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
The Lord kills your kids, and then he gives you new kids. Oh, God. I've been kidding me right now? What a monster.
What is it? A fucking, like, that's insane. That's just like, what is it? A guitar pick? He's like,
no rationality when it comes to this.
Jesus, what the fuck? That's too weird, man.
It's so weird.
Like, you gave you new kits. Like, that's fine, right?
Fine, right? They're just close enough. It look the same.
All kids are replaceable, right? That's why abortion is fine. Wait, what? Shit.
Oh God, yeah, that whole argument. Oh my God. Well, all children go to heaven. Then why do you have a problem with abortion?
Then who cares? Yeah. Well, they weren't supposed to go right there.
Only God's allowed to kill the kids. I'm sorry. Say that out loud again.
that is legit. They're fucking. I've heard that in so many words.
Yeah, but they don't realize it. It doesn't rationalize with them. It hits that Jesus wall. They're like, yeah, this sounds great.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna get him.
Oh God, it's insane. It takes away when we see the layered casualty in the story of Joseph, who was sold by his jealous brothers in a fit of wickedness and sin, falsely accused by a spurned woman, punished by an angry ruler, but who in all of it was also sent by God to be the means of deliverance for his people. Joseph's confession stands as a banner over every evil action ever committed by the wicked. As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Not just used it for good, meant it for good.
God meant all those mass shootings for good. They all had to die for the greater good. Man, what kind of monster has to have that happen?
Damn right. So this is all a plan. This is all an end justifies the means, like type of thing. Yeah. But we never know what the end is. It's just
nobody knows for sure.
It's
we just
probably
it's going to be good.
Yeah, jeez, that's sick, man. What the fuck? So every evil man for the ultimate good of his people. Wow. So then the author story analogy, got it, with its layered of divine and human interventions in both good and evil acts, has biblical and theological legs, both in terms of explicit scriptural warrant and potent explanatory force. Will it find further corroboration in the realm of philosophy? No. But I'm sure you think it does.
I'm going to use fancy words to try and explain it, but it's still not going to work. I'm just going to, waste everybody's time. This guy's awesome. I really got to get him on the show. I bet you he's got lots of silly things to say.
Right. Yeah, we're going to have to get his email after this and see if we can set this up. Great. So the philosophical problem, God's will and ours and the greater good. Okay. So before exploring the analogy philosophically, it's necessary to anticipate one of the chief objections to its use. Put simply, some might argue that the analogy breaks down because we humans are more real than fictional characters in a story. Yeah, but there's other problems too. But a lot more problems than that.
At least he's got one of them down.
Yeah, he's got the stars. Jesus. We have more existence than Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, or Katniss, PETA, and President Snow. That's Hunger Games. The point is granted in terms of being reality. We have more substance than these fictitious persons. Yeah, like a lot more.
I would hope so.
Right. Because we're actually made of
substance. I like to think so. Right? Yeah, there's a start.
I'm not made of imagination. Okay, that's...
No, God is, though.
That's good. Straight up, yep. But the triune God is more real than C.S. Lewis or Susan Collins. Prove it,
Exactly. Like, what a weird thing to just randomly throw out there. But these three gods that are one is more real than this author that's real. Yeah. It's a fact.
God, you know what you don't need to say is real? Real things, that's how that works. But in fact, I'd suggest that the distance between real humans and Pevensies.
Pevensies? I think I don't know. It's far less than the distance between two. It's probably a Lewis character, I think. I don't know.
Oh, okay. It seems like a kind of cheese or something. I don't know.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
I know, right? Pevensies cheese. I'm just saying.
I'll take two.
A couple wheels and we'll be out of it. It's far less than the distance between Lewis and God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. And this distance between human authors and the divine author is what makes the distance between real persons and fictional characters largely irrelevant. What? Hold on.
Yeah.
And this distance between human authors and divine author is what makes the distance between real persons and fictional characters largely irrelevant. Are you fucking crazy? How? That doesn't...
more strange claims.
And how do you measure the distance? It's like, okay, we're gonna, this is how far, right? This is like 10 miles from here to fictional.
I'm gonna just eyeball it.
Jesus, this is so evil. Wow. Speaking of the problem of evil, this is evil.
This is an evil article.
Fuck, it really is. For therein lies the uniqueness and might of God's creative power. When he invents a world other than himself, he makes it real and actual. I feel like that's the wrong way to use the word actual. But okay. Our fictional creations are phantasms existing only in minds or on the pages or movie screens, but God's creations have substance, really living and moving and having their being in him, as N.D. Wilson has written. Okay. Yeah, that's sort of the thing. That we can actually feel shit. That's we actually feel pain.
Yeah, the difference there.
Yeah, kind of a big one. Yeah. We are made of words. What? I feel like I had to read that wrong.
We are made of words. God's words.
Like cells are a word, organs are a word too. And, magic words. Oh, okay.
Nailed it.
You got it. Yeah, now I'm convinced. So we're made of magic words. It's like saying please,
Magic is real. Okay, I'm a believer now. Man, this guy's awesome. He's great job.
You just fixed everything right there, man. Magic words. Words spoken by the infinite. Words so potent, spoken by one so potent that they have weight and mass and flavor. Flavor.
A potent flavor.
Yeah, it's like, don't put the word flavor there.
Maybe he's talking about that cheese still.
Yeah. Exactly. Because this sounds weird. Be like weight and mass and flavor. What?
And flavor? I don't know. What do we taste like, God?
Right. Oh, that's weird. That's exactly what Kyle was just saying. That they know he knows what you taste like.
Oh, there. Yeah, that's right.
Full circle. That's right.
Thanks, Kyle. Bringing it back.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so they got infinite reason. Flavor. They are real. They have taken on flesh and dwelt among us. They are us. Notes from the Tilla World 23 through 24. It is because of God's infinite reality causing power that the reality causing power. That sounds so stupid.
That's a statement. That's a sentence.
He's got reality causing power.
This guy's awesome.
What? That the author story analogy retains its potency despite the vast difference between God's creations and our own. It's also this infinite power that forms one of the crucial steps in the philosophical problem of evil. The crap.
This is good. This is good.
It gives us the syllogism. Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice.
Definitely sums it up nicely.
Right. Okay, good. Yeah. The classic problem of evil. Stated simply, the philosophical problem goes like this. If God is all-knowing, then he knows what evil is. If God is all good, then he himself is not evil, and he would prevent evil if he could. If God is all-powerful, then he can prevent evil. Evil exists, therefore 1, 2, and 3, or a combination must be false. Yeah, you can't have it's the thing that Lex Luthor says in the Batman versus Superman. It's like he can't be all good if he's all powerful. If he's all powerful, he can't be all good.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Love it.
Good old Lex,
Good old comics, always teaching life lessons.
Right. I'm telling you, man. It's a better book to read than the Bible. That's funny. Okay. The author's story analogy clearly holds to 1 and 3. It's 2 that is denied, since God remains all good, even if he allows and ordains evil for his own wise and good purposes. What
a thing.
You can't say that. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's
he's gonna ordain and use evil for his own good purposes. He has to use evil to get good done, and he's all powerful.
How does that even work? She's like, how do you get like evil? Okay, now a good thing. How does that?
Was a good part. That was a good part. Yeah. He learned a lesson from that.
Right. That's it too. Right. He
won't be alone with the pastor anymore. See, he learned a lesson. It's a good thing. Fuck off, God.
Oh, it's so gross. Okay. That's good purpose. In other words, God may ordain that evil exists because the existence of evil serves some greater good that God has in view. The author's story analogy sheds light on how God is not tainted by the evil of his creatures and on why God would ordain evil for his own wise purposes. Yeah, that's why it doesn't fucking make sense. Like, there's a narrative structure for writing stories, right? You have to have a protagonist and an antagonist. That's part of narrative structure. That's what keeps us reading or watching.
The duality of it all.
Yeah, the push and pull of it, right? Because that's how stories work. But those are like rules made up by people who decide how we write stories because they know it keeps us engaged. This has nothing to do with any of that. This is just God being a psychopath.
Yeah, it's their attempt to defend that. The story of the duality, which is in every story. It's just them trying to defend that. And, he's still good. He's still good no matter how much evil he does and uses. No, gross.
If I was an author and I was like doing this whole thing, I'd write a story about puppies. Just puppies, just hanging out. They're just all sitting around. They're eating food and stuff. They're just rubbing each other's bellies. They're just hanging out. That's what I would
write. Drowning them.
Yeah,
drowning them and some kids.
Nobody's drowning the puppies. Like they're just there.
That's not a real story. We need duality.
I know, right? It's like if it's not affecting anything, then I can make a bad dog or something. I don't know.
It's so wolf. Disgusting and terrible.
Big bad wolf or something. But anyway, let's see. Oh, it's my spoiler. So, with respect to how an all-powerful author is not tainted by the evil actions of his characters, philosopher Hugh McCain argues that we should distinguish between the following two statements. Okay. Ugh. God causes Pharaoh to harden his heart. God causes Pharaoh to harden his heart. It's just the same thing over twice.
God causes Pharaoh hardening his heart. God causes Pharaoh to harden his heart.
Wow. See, Lex Dixie just coming about, just full swing there.
It's a tough one, though. I mean,
wow. I really did not.
Yeah.
I see it now. What the fuck?
It's the same thing. Yeah, no, it's the same thing. God is still causing this to happen, and that's the issue. He's blowing off the issue. And that's the problem is Christians don't see these as issues. They just brush it off and do their own shit. Make up words.
Yeah, because I remember reading that like not too long ago about the Pharaoh and being like, wait a second, so God did this? It's like, yeah, I just want to torture him a little bit more. Okay.
It's so bad. Like that whole story is so bad, man. Like the beginning of it, he starts off. Sorry, I'm gonna take over for a second. He starts off and he's like, this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna set this whole thing up so I can kill the Pharaoh's kid. That's how he starts off the story. This is premeditated. Well, all of it's premeditated because God knows everything. But he set this whole thing in motion. And Moses is going to do this. Well, he knew Moses wasn't going to do it. And he was just going to carry the stick at the end of it. So that was pointless. The whole thing that the gods can actually turn things to snakes. So these gods actually have power. So the gods are real. Oh, my God. It goes crazy. And then he has to do it in 9:16, Exodus 9:16, I believe it is. He says he raised up Pharaoh for this very purpose, to cause this to happen so that he can personally, because it says him personally, went down into the bedrooms of these kids while they were sleeping and fucking killed them. Why? So he could show off his powers. Oh, it's disgusting.
That is not a reason. Like that's not a good
place that he hardened all of the Egyptians. I think it's in chapter 9. He hardens all of the Egyptians' hearts. Like what's the fucking point of that?
Why couldn't he? I thought the whole point was just to let them go, right? To get them to let them go.
You would think, but it's not. He just wanted them to go out and worship him in the desert. They'd been locked up for 400 years in slavery, and he wasn't getting his sacrifices. So he got upset and wanted them to come out and give him his sacrifices. So every single time that Moses or Aaron went to the Pharaoh, he actually said, let my people go and worship me. And it was like, okay, well, you can go and worship him in the desert for 12 days. And then God said, no, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart so Pharaoh wouldn't let him loose. And then at one point, at the very end, Pharaoh's like, yes, go, do it. And then afterwards, God's like, wait, I'm going to harden his heart again. So he chases after them. And then I'm going to kill all of Pharaoh's army and his horses. Red Sea extravaganza. And the fucking horses. Like, why would he kill the horses? What was the point in that? He's always got to kill the animals along with it, man.
Right, I'm most angry about that. He needs to stop fucking hurting the guy. Humans deserve it a lot of times, okay? But animals
are not awesome. That's maybe there's evil horses. I don't know. Bad horse is a evil horse.
Yeah, maybe the ones that kick people. You know how they kick people sometimes. Shit
Sorry,
kickers.
That's my little rant there. That story is egregious, man. And Christians constantly tell me, oh, the spirit of the Lord went down, or the angel of death. No, dude, read the story in 2 different places. It says the Lord himself came down and did all these things. He killed the children in their beds while they were sleeping. Like,
wow.
what a monstrous act.
I always used to, I thought it was like the angel of death or whatever. There was some like special.
I thought so for the longest time as well. I thought so too.
Wow.
Yeah, Exodus 12:12. I just found today. The second one, like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that was there. Yeah, no, I love that story. It's so egregious. It's so horrible.
It's super brutal. Like, oh
so many things wrong with it.
Jesus.
Sorry, I took over for a second there.
Oh no, you're good. You're good, man. So we'll go through this area. I don't want to keep you too long. But we'll go through this little area real quick about the Pharaoh story, and then we might have to pick it up another time because this is
going I can give you a brief ending too of what he's essentially saying.
Okay. Oh, cool. Excellent. All right. So in the former, God appears to be acting upon Pharaoh, manipulating his will in some way. In the latter, God simply causes Pharaoh himself, in all of his willing and acting, the distinction. What? Wait. God simply causes Pharaoh himself, in all of his willing and acting. What? I feel like I'm missing something. Like, no, I'm reading it right. It's just...
I think he's just saying that he just controlled Pharaoh, essentially.
Well, wasn't that what the first one said? He's like manipulating his will in some way. In the latter, God simply, just causes Pharaoh to exist, and then sets back, and then lets him.
That defeats Exodus 9:16. I brought you up for this very purpose, for this very cause. So that kind of defeats the whole, just created him and let him loose and do his own thing. No. That's not what your Bible says.
Right. You can see why we get so confused reading this. And I swear this happens on almost every article. At some point, I'm like, I can't be reading. What? Huh? Wait.
Those words are backwards to me.
Every time. Like, what the fuck is happening? Okay. So the first way viewing the relationship can tend to make God appear like a puppeteer pulling Pharaoh's strings, doing violence to Pharaoh's integrity as a responsible moral agent. The latter is more consistent with the author's story analogy. God's creating and sustaining Pharaoh carries along with it the specific actions in which Pharaoh is engaged. Thus, God causes Pharaoh in his willing.
It's Pharaoh's fault. He's just putting the blame on Pharaoh. Is that what he's doing here? That's what it sounds like.
It's that's exactly what he's doing. The
next sentence. There it is. Yeah. Oh my farts. Holy cow. In this view, God is not doing any violence to Pharaoh's will. Wow. Nor is he properly the author of Pharaoh's evil. He is not the author of Pharaoh's evil. So it's like C.S. Lewis created a character, and that character just did whatever the fuck it wanted to do. C.S. Lewis, I'm not responsible for that character.
The witch. She's a witch.
I didn't write that story.
What the fuck are you talking about? Wow.
It's nuts,
this
man.
Is insane. Like, I had no idea it was going to get this batshit too.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Jesus Christ. The evil, so he said, the author is Pharaoh's evil. The evil is predicated to Pharaoh, not God. Instead, the creation of Pharaoh is what is predicted to God. So God just made him, and he's just like a snowball. Like, just like rolls him down the hill. And he's like, well, it's rolling now.
Well, I'm not responsible for that snowball that just wiped out that whole family.
Right? Jesus, like, what the? Then he's not all powerful. You again, like, if that's how it goes, and he can't intervene because of free will, he's not all powerful. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
That he's supposed to be dismantling. He's just reinforcing it. Like, Jesus,
it's all part of the plan. He sets it in motion. I mean, if he sets the snowball off without knowing where it would go, that would at least be something. Right. But no, he knows where that snowball is going to go. He knows it's going to slaughter that family at the end of the fucking mountain over there.
And
he
still
does it, and then blames the family. No, sorry, he blames the snowball. It was definitely the snowball's fault.
Right? Yeah, it's not my eyes. The snowball. Yeah. So Andrew said God causes Pharaoh is an incomplete sentence. This guy can't grammar. and just making shit up.
Me neither. It's okay.
Yeah, I get it. And yeah, Titan says victim blaming. Yep, that's their favorite thing. You see why they do it so much now, because they're so used to defending their stupid god that doesn't make any sense. So just why not apply that to people that get shot by police? I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh God,
damn.
No, he is a stupid guy. I love that. He's definitely dumber than shit. He knows everything. He can see everything, but he goes in the garden. Hey, Adam and Eve, where are you?
Where you guys at?
Or Satan, where have you been? Going to and fro? What's going on? Like, you don't know these things?
I've heard entire sermons on why God asked them. He's like, God knows, okay? He knew where they were, but he wanted them to answer. Yeah, right. Jesus.
God's so funny. No, he's an asshole.
Right, yeah, he just seems very cruel and awful. Thus, God is not acting on Pharaoh's desires or will in order to bring about the hardening. I know all about bringing about the hardening.
God will bring about your hardening. That's a great sermon. I haven't heard that one yet.
Get the kids out. Listen.
What kind of church is this?
I'd rather
that starts playing during praise and worship. You should probably exit.
It's a very different kind of worship. Probably got some femdom, time. Rather, he is directly involved in the existence of Pharaoh, which includes the specific intentions, desires, and acts in which Pharaoh is engaged. So yeah, he's literally just doing he made a human, and that's all he did.
Yeah. Yep. Not my fault.
He made a sentient being. He can't help what that sentient being did. But then why does it say specifically that he hardened his heart?
Yeah. No, yeah.
He just because the way they're making it sound like he made a person who hardened their heart. Yeah, that's what they're trying to. That's not what exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, these are so frustrating. But yeah, you want to give us like a little summary of like where you this.
To sum it up, he goes on for another few. Oh God, lots of paragraphs. But essentially, what he says is God feels and experiences what we go through, which is fucking dumb. My invisible friend feels it, so it's better. No, that's ridiculous. And then at the very end of this ridiculous article by this person I'm definitely going to want to talk to, he goes into, which they all go into, eventually God will stop all the sin, all the evil. Eventually he's going to step in and do something. It's like so ridiculous. This is his plan. This is his end goal, is to eventually stop it. And Revelation tells us that Satan and his friend Magog and whoever, these people, they're all going to like destroy and kill and steal and blah, blah, blah until the very end where they get really close to God's favorite people in their town. And then God will step in and do something.
Right. And it's so funny too, because well, I got so much to say about Revelation, but I'll save that.
Oh, yeah.
But because that was not even really supposed to be in anyway. It's not written by John the Apostle. It wasn't. We don't even know who wrote it. Some guy named John of Patmos, but that's not the John who wrote the Apostle John, because he like messes up Greek at certain parts, which the other apostle did it anyway. But yeah, so it's just, but it has that narrative structure. Like when a movie is really boring, it's when the good guys win the whole time. You know what I mean? They're just kicking ass.
Yeah.
Almost like John Wick. Like, I don't want to get too far into that, but like John Wick kind of irritates me, because I'm like, can the bad guys be better then? Like, if he's like this, can we have better bad guys? Can we do that?
Just a little
bit. Even it out a little bit. We went through 150 guys just now. Okay.
No, now we got to go to the whole world. That's a whole. Yeah.
You're right. But anyway, still good news. But you want the bad guy to be winning most of the movie and stuff for the narrative structure to function, right? And then you have that very last.
Gotta be that conflict.
Yes, yeah. It's like when like Thanos will just all of a sudden he gets he beats them and everything, and then he gets the stones all again, and then all of a sudden, oh no, Tony Stark got him. Just pulled him right out of his hand. Didn't even see it. Like, that's what you want.
Oh, love it. I'm just going to show off my little pop here. I got Tony Stark doing the thing, but he's got the crown of thorns, because I think he's more of a savior than Jesus ever was.
Yeah, I mean, he did sacrifice himself for the world.
For the universe, but he didn't need anybody to die beforehand. So I mean, that's just true. No blood. He didn't drown any kids either. It's always plus.
Yeah, no. Just I mean, if you count the whole Ultron thing, we're going too far.
Well, that's a lot. Yeah, well, we can talk about the moral capacity of Tony Stark and Ultron and all that. Yeah, we'll do that later.
Right? Yeah, that is a great point, though. But the thing is, like that's all about narrative structure. Like, and that's what's so weird when you look at a lot of these stories. They're supposed to be true or predicting the future, right? But they're just narratives. Like they're written like narratives. They're written like stories. They're not written like, history or
you know what people really like? Stories.
We do.
We fucking love stories. We're stories about the stars, for shit's sake. That's how much we love stories.
We'll pull stories out of just out of nowhere. Like we'll have future past futures. We'll have just everything you can think of. I mean, that's literally what our brains love to do. We are just storytellers, and that's why it's so weird when it seems to fall so perfectly, like you were just saying, as a movie would, where the bad guys keep winning. God, the good guy, he steps in at the last second, saves the day. He had all the power. I mean, it's literally Harry Potter level. Like, I had a spell the whole time that I could have used, and I just decided at the last second.
I didn't turn to that page yet. I was just waiting.
Yeah, like, why didn't you just do that at the fucking beginning, man? Because we needed a movie. Okay.
Yeah.
But wow, so this is just my goodness. So
and they just sort of
we are gonna have to get you back, and we'll try to do the rest of this because I did not realize it was gonna go as long as it did.
Sorry, I get long-winded like our article writer here.
Yeah,
especially in these topics.
I think it's his fault more than anybody else's. Yeah, you're good.
He is the president of Bethlehem College and Seminary. Ooh, man, definitely gonna have this guy on.
And you got his name?
Joe Rigney.
Joe Rigney. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Definitely reach out to him and let me know if you get in touch, because that'd be really great if you could have him on the show, man. That'd be super cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming by, man. This was a lot of fun. I always enjoy hanging out, man. Yeah, we always have a great time.
Absolutely, man. Anytime at all.
Oh yeah. So we have this sign off where I say who we're gonna say fuck off to, and then we do our best to try to say fuck off together.
All right.
So what do we say to the haters, discriminators, and masturbators, shamers? Fuck off. Perfect. That was excellent. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to stay logical but loving, compassionate but skeptical.